purport. The Lord married and lived like a householder. This is certainly like a mundane affair. But when we learn that he married 16,108 wives and lived with them separately in each and every palace, certainly it is not mundane. Therefore, the Lord, living as a householder among his competent wives, is never mundane, and his behavior with them is never to be understood as mundane sex relation. The women who became the wives of the Lord are certainly not ordinary women, because to get the Lord as one's husband is the result of many, many lives, millions of births, tapasya. When the Lord appears on different lokas or planets, or on this planet of human beings, he displays his transcendental pastimes just to attract the conditioned souls to become his eternal servitors, friends, parents, and lovers, respectively, in the transcendental world, where the Lord eternally reciprocates such exchanges of service. Service is pervertedly represented in this material world and broken untimely, resulting in sad experience. The illusion living being conditioned by the material nature cannot understand out of ignorance that all our relationships here are mundane, in the mundane world are temporary and full of inebrities. Such relationships cannot help us be happy perpetually, but if the same relationship is established with the Lord, then we are transferred to the transcendental world after leaving this material body and become eternally related with him in relationship we desire. The women among whom he lived as a husband are not therefore women of this mundane world, but are eternally related with him as transcendental wives, a position which they attained by perfection of devotion service. That is their competency. The Lord is Parabrahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Conditioned souls seek after perpetual happiness in all places, not only on this earth, but also on other planets throughout the universe, because constitutionally, a spiritual spark as he is can travel to any part of God's creation. But being conditioned by the material modes, he tries to travel in space by spacecraft and so fails to reach his destination. The law of gravitation is binding him upon like the shackles of a prisoner. By other processes, he can reach anywhere. But even if he reaches the highest planet, he cannot attain that perpetual happiness for which he is searching life after life. When he comes to his senses, however, he seeks after Brahman happiness, knowing it for certain that unlimited happiness, which he is seeking, is never attainable in the material world. As such, the Supreme Being Parabrahman certainly does not seek his happiness anywhere in the material world, nor can his paraphernalia of happiness be found in the material world. He is not impersonal, because he is the leader and supreme being among innumerable living beings. He cannot be impersonal. He is exactly like us, and he has all the propensity of an individual living being in fullness. He marries exactly like us, but his marriage is neither mundane nor limited by our experience in the conditioned state. His wives therefore appear like mundane women, but factually they are all transcendental liberated souls, perfect manifestations of the internal energy. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So, everybody is familiar. Anybody who knows about Krishna appearance 5,000 years back is familiar with the different wonderful, extraordinary pastimes of Lord Krishna, just like the one mentioned here, that how he married 16,000 wives and lived with them separately in each and every palace. So, to understand Krishna, as Prabhupada explains here, that we are also sample personalities. He is a leader and supreme being among innumerable living entities. To understand God is not very difficult. Not at all difficult. If understanding God was difficult, that means God is not meant for everybody. Isn't it? If God is meant for everybody, to understand God should be, one should be capable of understanding God. If we understand ourselves, then you can understand God. If we understand our qualities, then we can understand God. We are, as Prabhupada says, sample gods. We can think, we can feel, we can will, we can desire, we can enjoy, or we can experience. We can experience sense objects, we can experience pleasure, we can experience love, we can experience knowledge, we can experience power. This is the characteristic of, if you study each of us, you can see, for instance, in this material world, starting with everybody, power is required for existence. You go, you work hard, you earn money. What is money? It's power to exist. The power. So, each of us are dealing with power. Even if you say your bodily strength is also a kind of a power. If you don't have bodily strength, you cannot even walk. You could not even come to the temple. So, physical power, financial power, intellectual power, all kinds of power is required. So, the living entity possesses power. Similarly, living entity possesses knowledge. This table does not possess knowledge. But each one of us possesses knowledge, less or more knowledge. We are capable of, we are knowledge beings. We are capable of knowing. We are capable of experiencing power. We are also capable of experiencing happiness and distress. We are capable of experiencing love, happiness in love. We are capable of experiencing happiness in sense pleasure. Where did all these things, if it was not there in God, how can it come in us? That means understanding God means God is an ocean of Sat, Chit and Ananda. Is an ocean of existential power. Chit is knowledge, Sat is power, Chit is knowledge, and Ananda is bliss. So we are tiny living beings. Who is God? He is a supreme living being. We are tiny entities. He is a supreme entity. We are tiny personalities. He is supreme personality. We are infinitesimal personalities. He is infinite personality. We are dependent personalities. He is independent personality. See, so many things about God. We can just, by studying ourselves, we can make out. So, what do we need? We need Satta, Chitta, Ananda, as I explained. And we said we are dependent living entities and these independent. So our Sat, Chit and Ananda can flow only from Him. He is an infinite source of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Our existence is dependent upon Him. We exist for Him. Every living entity, entire material creation is existing for Krishna. This is the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, not very difficult to understand. That is what Prabhupada is explaining here. He is the leader and the supreme being among innumerable living beings. He cannot be impersonal. See, when so much now we have concluded about God, suddenly somebody says, no, God cannot be a person, God cannot have senses, God cannot have pleasure, God cannot have happiness, God cannot have form, God cannot have senses, God cannot possess knowledge, God cannot. That means they make it Nirguna Brahman. There is something. It is called Nirguna. Something beyond matter. That is Nirguna. So this is false. The Param Satya, the absolute truth, is a supreme being along with innumerable beings. We are also part of Param Satya. But now we are trapped in this body. It's a different matter. When I say we means the person. Is a person is different from the body, no? Body is not the person. Because when a person is dead, you just don't see the person, that's all. The body is still there. That means the body was never the person. So when we say person, we are meaning beyond this body, that person that is there. Of course, that person is again surrounded by subtle body. The liberated person, one who is free from gross body and subtle body, that liberated person, that person is actually the soul. When we say soul in the body, it is that personality. What is the characteristic of soul? Now you can conclude. Can the soul think? I want somebody to answer. Can the soul think? Excellent. Soul can think. Many philosophies say, Buddhism, Shankara philosophy, they say soul cannot think, soul cannot feel, soul cannot will. Soul comes into Maya. It is a Maya that it's an illusion that soul thinks, soul feels, soul wills. It's an illusion. But we say no. The soul's original thinking, feeling, willing is in illusion. Thinking, feeling, willing is a faculty of the soul. What you think in this world, what you feel in this world, what you act in this world is illusion. I am the seer. I see the table. I see the table as per the characteristics of the table. It is shining, non-shining, color, everything, hardness, everything I see. These are characteristics of the seen. But the seer is not in the table. So the seeing faculty, is it in the table? No, it's not in the table. Seeing faculty or seeing capacity is that of the soul. So thinking, feeling, willing, all these things are characteristics of the soul. Now our thinking, feeling and willing is fully covered by Maya, material energy, in forgetfulness of Krishna. Our original thinking, feeling, willing is about the Supreme Being Krishna. Why do we think, feel and will? We all think, feel and will for rasa. Everybody is after happiness. Everybody is after enjoyment. So thinking, feeling and willing is meant for what? For rasa. We are all beings of rasa. God is also a being of rasa. So Krishna comes down as avatara and he performs activities on this earth which is perfection of rasa. The devotees who participated in Krishna's pastime, they consisted of not only living entities from this world, but they also consisted of living entities who are his eternal associates, come down with him to exhibit this wonderful, beautiful rasa. How wonderful, how perfect is the rasa of jiva with God. That's called bhakti rasa. So in order to show the world that your constitutional rasa is bhakti rasa, not rasa of this world. Whether it is pleasure, whether it is love, whether it is knowledge, whether it is power, that is not our original food. The Atma's original food is bhakti rasa. If we have developed a relationship with the Supreme Being, Krishna, then our rasa begins under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Because this rasa just like a person with jaundice, his tongue cannot taste varieties of tastes. Everything is tasteless. But after his jaundice goes, then salt, sugar, sweet, bitter, sour, everything he can taste. In the same way, today we are unable to taste bhakti rasa because all our consciousness, our chitta, consciousness is covered with material rasas. Just like you eat all nonsense food and everything, then your taste gets spoiled. Fine taste gets spoiled. In the same way, the living entity has been running behind this material rasa, illusory rasa. What is the characteristic of illusory rasa? Krishna is not in the picture. Bhakti rasa means Krishna is in the picture. One partner of the rasa. Rasa needs two partners. One partner of the rasa is Krishna. That is bhakti rasa. For instance, you completely depend on the protection of the Lord. Lord is an omnipotent being. I am completely under his protection. He is my maintainer. This is rasa. Bhakti rasa. Now this bhakti rasa, we may artificially now say I am depending on God and all these things and depending on Krishna. We may say all those things, but these are all just starting of bhakti rasa. Real bhakti rasa is actually in the heart. Our consciousness, bhakti consciousness is in our heart. It is our swarupa, it is our nature. We naturally depend upon Krishna. Dependence rasa upon Krishna is very natural. Now only when some trouble comes, we will say, oh Krishna, please help me, you say. But otherwise, there is the soul by itself doesn't have to, because it knows that Krishna is protecting me. It knows. So the soul's original Krishna consciousness means to awaken one's original consciousness. See, when you hear about Krishna's pastimes, beautiful pastimes, omnipotent Lord expanded into 16,000 forms and gave Madhurya Rasa to the rasa of a married person, that is called Madhurya rasa, conjugal rasa. He gave to 16,000 souls. Why 16,000? 16 million, 16 billions he can give. He expanded into 16,000 forms. He was available to each wife. That is why he is the supreme being, eternal being. This is the glory of God. Just like in the material world, I can be father to somebody, I can be husband to somebody, I can be son to someone, or I can be friend to someone. I can be friend to 10 people. But I can be with only one of them at a time. Only one role play I can play. If I am in the rasa with my son, then I have to switch over. Let's say you're in your office and your wife calls you. Immediately you switch over to husband role. Till then you are sitting with another subordinate in your office, you're discussing office matters. So you are in a mood of boss. Your wife calls. Immediately what do? Switch over to husband personality. When the wife on the other hand says, your son is crying, speak to him. Then son comes on the line. Immediately you switch over to father personality. Your father is sick, he wants to speak to you. Then I'll give the phone to your father. Then father comes on the line. Immediately you switch over to son personality. But all only one body. Imagine Krishna does this without limitation of number of bodies. And without limitation of number of relationships. Unlimited jivas are there. To unlimited jivas he can give personal attention. He can give personal attention. Here I have to cut off son and then become father. I have to cut off father and then become husband. Only one thing here. So we are limited persons, capable of limited rasa. Krishna is unlimited person, capable of unlimited rasa. That is called ocean of Satchidananda. He is an ocean of personalities. Advaitam Achyudam Anadim Ananta Rupam. He can take Ananta Rupam. Why 16,000? Just see how wonderful it is. That is why I started beginning, said that if God cannot be understood by everybody, then that is not the correct understanding of God. Everybody knows himself, his qualities, his nature and everything. And then simply you can understand that he is a sample God. He desires love, God desires love. There is a little difference. I desire love because I don't have. I desire pleasure, I don't have. But God is everything. So, God is not lacking. For instance, God is marrying 16,000 wives. In the material world, a man wants a woman because there are so many things in the woman which he does not have. There is nothing special. The emotion is different, the identity is different. In the material world, the living entity runs after different things because he does not have that with him. Now think of God, who has everything, everything is him. So he is called Atmarama, he is completely self-satisfied. Now the question comes then, why he is after this love and all these things? Why he is after this? Why he has to marry 16,000? No, he married 16,000 wives for the sake of the wives, not for himself. He is full in himself. That devotees wanted him to be the husband. Is it not? That is how he married. No, they were all imprisoned by somebody. And Krishna went and saved them. And then he said goodbye. Then all of them did not leave him. No, you cannot leave us. Like this. We are out of the home, our homes, everybody, the society will reject us. Because that was the tradition in those days. The women is out of home for one day, then the society will reject. So my Lord, you have to marry us. You have to become our husband. Imagine, 16,000 women tell some person, please marry us. Just imagine Krishna. He said, okay. Took them all to Dwaraka. Made 16,000 palaces. Expanded into 16,000 husbands. Gave them full rasa. Madhuri rasa. Is it mundane? Is it material? No. These are all exhibition of transcendental potentialities of every jiva. What potential we have to become wife of Krishna, to become friend of Krishna, to become parent of Krishna. And in each of these rasa, there is perfection of rasa, which is what our constitutional need. Why everybody is dissatisfied in this material world? If I give you mud to eat every day, will you be satisfied? Never be satisfied. Only mud is available. And everybody is eating mud. Because there is nothing else. And some people are just concocting. Okay, good mud, bad mud, soft mud, hard mud. Ultimately it is mud. So we are all fed with mud pleasure in the material world. Therefore we are not happy. We are all fed with mud love. Therefore we can never be happy, because that is not my spiritual digestive system does not want that. My spiritual digestive system wants Krishnananda, wants Krishna's love, wants Krishna's seva. So, today we are bound in this material world, in this material body, with the lower taste, whatever is available. The spiritual master comes down, Krishna comes down and tells what is available, what you can get. Not these things. You can get what your soul really wants, where you will be completely satisfied. And one can be completely satisfied in bhakti rasa. Entire life is of rasa. Every 24 hours is of bhakti rasa. Eating, sleeping, everything, existing, working, everything is bhakti rasa. Don't misunderstand that, okay, bhakti rasa is limited, when I go to the spiritual world, then I will experience that. No, right here. Because bhakti rasa is our original rasa. We have to awaken it. Now you are hearing Krishna consciousness lecture. This is just to trigger what is inside you. You all know, every one of us know Krishna. He is our other partner. Every one of us know Krishna very well. But if you look at our present consciousness, no, we don't know. When you hear a lecture, you make some impression of Krishna. as if it's a stranger, first time you are hearing. And you think he's a philosophical entity, philosophical personality. He is the closest person. We all know him very well. Then why we don't remember him? Because we don't even know ourselves now. Who you really are, he knows Krishna very well. Now you yourself are haunted by a ghost in the material world. In the material world, we are all haunted by one ghost. What is this ghost? I am this body. My existence is this body. No. I am, even materially speaking also, I am not this body. I am contaminated consciousness. You can see, ordinary person who dead body and living body. In the material world also we are persons who are with contaminated consciousness. That means ignorance. We are in self-ignorance. That is why we don't remember. So I myself, suppose I have forgotten who I am. I am in the hospital bed. I have forgotten who I am. Then if my father comes, mother comes, everybody comes near me, will I recognize? No. I will not recognize. And what is the root cause? Not father and mother. I is the cause. I have forgotten who I am. So in order to enjoy that Krishna is closest to me, Krishna is my protector, Krishna is my eternal partner, either as a friend or whatever result may be. In order to know that, what is required? I have to wake up. The real me has to wake up. The real me is not this, I am this body. The real me has to wake up. The real me, how can it wake up? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This power to wake up is in this Shabda. This is a secret Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Nam Nam Akari Bauda Nija Sarva Shakti. Please understand, this sound is not ordinary sound. Just like this electrical wire, not ordinary wire, current is running in it. It looks like dead wire. When you look at the wire, you may not be able to see whether there is current in it or not. You have to have faith. Knowledge, based on knowledge. Switch is on, so current must be there. Switch is off, current is not there. Shastras have told switch is on. Kalikale Krishna Namarupa Avatara. That ordinary sound that you and me produce with the tongue is not ordinary sound. Just like copper wire. It looks like ordinary sound. But the Shastra says no, electricity is running in it. Nam Namakari Bauda Nija Sarva Shakti. So now I have to associate with this sound. How do you take something from the sound? With your eyes or what? Ears. How do you produce sound? Tongue. So Krishna says, you produce the sound, I will enter there with all the Shakti. This is the meaning. Krishna Kalikale Nama Rupa Avatara. And because all the Shakti is there, now how do you take that Shakti inside you? Huh? By hearing. Sound, how does a sound take something inside you? By hearing. Therefore, those who are intelligent, they chant with faith and hear attentively. They take that Shabda into their heart through the mind. It will create explosions there. Explosions. What is this kind of explosion? This explosion is not TNT explosion like it happened in Sri Lanka. This explosion is Sat, Chit, Ananda explosion. Many bombs will burst inside. Chit bomb, Sat bomb, Ananda bomb. When the sound goes inside. When Chit bomb blows in the heart, what happens? What is Chit? Knowledge. So when Chit bomb blows, what happens? Ignorance will go. Ignorance will go and light will come. Enlightenment will happen. You see, you read books so much, you read. Little by little you have to take knowledge inside. But if you create an explosion, big dose of knowledge will come. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Wholesale process of self-realization. There's a retail process of self-realization and wholesale process. Retail process is some jnana, some yoga, some this thing, that thing, all kinds of things. There's a wholesale process. And this wholesale also freely distributed. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratishe Namaha. Most munificent incarnation of the Lord as Chaitanya has come and distributed this all-powerful, omnipotent Shabda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The most needed Shakti is transcendental knowledge and transcendental love, and that is contained in the Shabda. And simply take this sound, everything, that sound will do everything for you. You should have so much faith in the chanting. That sound will do everything for you. You chant nicely, you read Prabhupada's book, it will be like a nectar. Everything will just flow, everything like nectar. You don't need your material intellect to analyze and all these things. You like a flowing of nectar. It adds to the Ananda. If you don't chant nicely when you read, why should I read? Like everywhere, same thing Prabhupada is saying, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, your servant. Krishna is Supreme Personality, your servant. Nothing new in this. It's a fact. Intellectually there is nothing. But when you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, even 1,000,000 times you read, Krishna is Supreme Personality, I am His servant. Each time you will enjoy. Each time you will enjoy. So holy name is there. Nectar of Prabhupada's books are there. This is a very, very, very rare situation in the material world. And this super discount is given only because we are in a worst situation. Manda Sumanda Matayo. All mandas. Spiritually speaking, human being means capable of understanding Shastra, understanding God and purpose of life and everything. But Kali Yuga, all human beings are Manda Sumanda Matayo. Brainless. In Indian, in Sanskrit language, Sumanda Matayo means brainless. Even the so-called most intellectual person in this material world is brainless. No intelligence. If he has intelligence, he will first ask the question, why should I die? Where did I come from? What is life? He will ask that question. Since he has no answer, he does not ask that question, that's all. And he thinks, I know everything. Very basics you do not know. Who you are, you do not know. You're using your brain to find out physics, chemistry, cosmology, atom, everything. As you're writing your equation, you will fall dead. Did any of your equation describe that phenomena? How you died? No. People have no intelligence in Kali Yuga. They have no spiritual intelligence. All that is compensated by chanting Hare Krishna. As soon as we chant Hare Krishna, chanting and sending inside the Hare Krishna, chanting and hearing Hare Krishna, you will see that we become very intelligent. Just like Prabhupada says, devotees are the most intelligent people. Because they are utilizing their life for the best thing. Many, many lives have come and gone. Lifetime Achievement Award, they give everywhere in different institutions. They give Lifetime Achievement Award. And millions of Lifetime Achievement Award you have got. And achieved nothing. The award also you will leave behind and go. Next life again you will work hard and Lifetime Achievement Award. So you leave behind that award and go. You leave behind that identity also you leave behind. At least next life you had carried, you could have said, last life I know I got that Lifetime Achievement Award I got. No. You won't even know you are that person. You may be cleaning that award next life. In somebody's office. In your own office. All your children would have put, my father has a Lifetime Achievement Award and all these things. Hey, usko clean karo. Who is that? You only, your father, you only got all that awards. Now you clean all these awards, dust it. Maya makes a joke of every living entity. Makes a joke of every living entity. Therefore it said, if you become a devotee, you are intelligent. You are out of this trap. But the secret is, you have to send what inside your ears? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If your mind is somewhere, will it go inside? No. Hearing requires mind. At least speaking requires tongue movement. Take ears. To hear, does the ear have actually any active role? No. Every sound is falling on it. The fan sound is falling. Some other sound is falling. My speaking is falling. But you are not hearing the fan sound. You are not hearing so many other sounds. You are only hearing my talk. Why? Mind is on my talk. Therefore, the sound has to fall in the ears. Through an attentive mind, automatically the sound will flow to the heart. Your heart is where your mind is. Where is your heart? Where your mind is. And where is your heart? Your heart is where your rasa is. Where your rasa is. So one has to chant, the mind to be pulled towards the heart. One has to chant with the intention to receive the kripa from the Lord. That is a rasa. And your full shraddha that all that enlightenment, all that ananda I am looking for outside, everything is going to come from this sound, from this nama. Nama is a personality. Life means personality. And is non-different from Krishna. Krishna and Krishna Nama is abhinna. Krishna himself has taken avatara as Nama. And one of the quality of Krishna is what? He is infinitely merciful. Infinitely merciful. So therefore, with that faith, this Nama will save me from this material ignorance. This Nama, I don't want anything from the Nama. Many lives I got through Punya, all these things, I got so many things, and all these things, suffering, happiness, Punya, Papa. No. I am finished with all that. I want Bhakti Rasa, I want eternal Rasa, I want transcendental Rasa. Please wake me up. With that Kripa Apeksha in the heart, we should chant. Then if you have that Kripa Apeksha, mind will also be there. So the heart, the mind, the ear, everything gets aligned. Straight away that Shabda will flow into the heart. And soul is in the heart. Soul is where the Rasa is. And the soul, when it touches the Shabda. What is Shabda? Surya of Satchidananda. This Shabda is a Surya of Satchidananda. The Surya of Satchidananda goes. When it reaches the spirit, when the spirit touches, Prabhupada gives the example of how you put a piece of iron in the fire. The iron becomes hotter, and finally it becomes red hot and acts like fire, gets the quality of fire. Similarly, when we send Hare Krishna inside, you will start getting divine qualities of Krishna. That is called self-realization. Your taste of life will change. You will only want to serve the Lord. You only want to seva rasa you want. And that is what Prabhupada is explaining here in this purport. That so many, all kinds of relationship that we are seeking in this world, you are entitled for perfect relationship with Krishna. Every one of us are entitled. Now we don't even have confidence that, oh no, where I can meet Krishna, where I can get all these things from Krishna. It's a correct thinking. In this present state, you cannot. You don't even know who you are. Somehow in my haunted state, I meet my transcendental spiritual master. And in my haunted state, I am not enlightened now. We are not enlightened. Still you are hearing now what I am saying. Representing Srila Prabhupada. So this starts working inside and slowly will wake up our true self. These all this present bodily, all role plays. We should get detached from it. To get detached from this is not so easy. That is why you need Shakti. It's an experience. When that Nama Shakti goes inside, it's an experience. Then you will feel this body should be dealt with the way it should be dealt with. It's purely as an instrument for the soul. Not that if you don't, I am not the body, you have to give up the body. If you realize you are not the car, doesn't mean you have to stop driving the car. You can drive the car in ignorance or in knowledge. So a self-realized devotee can drive this car, not for sense gratification, can drive this car for Krishna gratification, for pleasing Krishna. It becomes part of bhakti. This body also becomes part of bhakti. That is the reason why we worship this form of Prabhupada. It's transcendental. Any questions? Yes. Yeah, at this present conditioned state, all experiences are through this body. Okay? Conditioned state. But does not mean that once our consciousness get detached from this identification with this body, you can have direct experience. You can have direct experience. That is one thing. Then ultimately your real experiences is through a spiritual body. So you will get a spiritual body in the spiritual world. So till then this body has to almost act like spiritual body. That means it should become Shuddha. Achar, Vichar, everything of this body itself should become like a pure devotee. It becomes pure. And then you can start experiencing, even in this body you can start experiencing transcendental bliss. Because your body becomes spiritualized. It is become free from karma. This body, it is infused with spiritual energy. Any other question? Jai Granthiraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.